Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a double exposure text in Photoshop. And also we will dive deeper into extracting of object from background with the use of channels and levels, applying type tool, create clipping mask, grouping of layers, and changing of blending mode. So let's get started! So here in the document, I prepare here images. So I got here an image of this tree that will be used for masking our text and also this city landscape. Let's go back in our original document. So first step, we're going to create the text layer. So to do that, going on to the toolbar, find the type tool, this T symbol, or press T for the shortcut key. And let's apply it on our canvas to put our word. So just click that. And then let's say the word cool. All right. All right, let's just adjust this one. So with that text layer selected, press Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and we may now able to adjust the size of it. Then hit enter. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Well, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to the tree document. There we are, because our next goal here is to extract the tree from its background. So to do that, going on to the channels panel, just select on this, all right, and I'm going to hide the red. So just click this eye like bottom, all right, to hide it, and also the green. Make sure the blue ones is the one that is visible. And then let's create a duplicate of that by click and drag it to this duplicate layer icon. All right, there you go. And then with this blue copy layer, go to the menu bar, go to image, go to adjustments, and then choose on levels. So this levels dialog box will appear. So under the input levels, from this shadow slider, I'm going to click and drag it to the right to darken up those shadows. There are. And then for the highlights, I'm going to click and drag it to the left to lighten up the highlights. All right. So as you can see, the background is totally white. This seems good to me now. Once you're good with it, hit OK. All right, now the next step here is we're going to create a selection on those shadows. So to do that, press Ctrl, hold it, and click on the thumbnail of that blue copy layer. There you are. And then let's go to layers. With this layer selected, I'm going to add a mask on this part. So add layer mask. All right, there you go. And then we're going to invert this layer mask. So to do that, with that layer mask thumbnail selected, press Ctrl plus I to invert that. So once I did that, as you have noticed here, that the sky background is already extracted from the tree. Okay, now the next step here is we're going to create a selection on the tree. So to do that, press Ctrl and select on that layer mask thumbnail. Once it's selected, also select on this layer thumbnail. There you are. Then press Ctrl plus C to copy it. Now let's go back to our original document, then paste it by pressing Ctrl plus V. There we go. Now, the next step here is we're going to adjust the scale of this tree layer. So to do that, selected on that tree layer, press Ctrl plus T. Then let's decrease the size to this. Then hit enter. Now, the next step here is we're going to create a selection on those texts. So to do that, press Ctrl and click on this text thumbnail. There you are. So you can, as you can see, those texts are already selected. Now to create a single letter selection, go to toolbar, go to the second tool, first second, right click on it, and find the rectangular marquee tool. And make sure that this intersect selection is selected. All right. And now click and drag it only to this letter C. Now, once I did that, as you see that we already created a selection of the letter C letter, right? Okay, and then going back, make sure that you're selected on the tree layer, and then click on the add layer mask icon. There you are. So we're going to do the same method what we did on the other letters. All right. So let's go to the second letter, the letter O. So the first step here is we're going to duplicate this layer 1. All right. So press Ctrl plus J. For us not to be confused, let's rename those layers. So this one will be the letter C, right? This one will be the O1, let's say. All right. So with this O1 layer selected, I'm going to remove the layer mask thumbnail of that by selecting on that layer mask thumbnail and then press backspace. There you go. And then press Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and I'm going to move this tree on the letter O. Okay, next step here is we're going to press Ctrl and then click on the thumbnail of the text layer. There you go. And then let's get the marquee tool, or you can just press M for that. Then I'm going to click and drag to create a selection on this letter. There you are. Once you have that selection, make sure that you're also selected on that O1 layer, and then click on the add layer mask icon. There you are. Now let's go to the next letter O. So just what we did, press Ctrl plus J to duplicate this layer. Let's name this layer as the O2. All right, and then click on that layer mask thumbnail, press backspace to remove that thumbnail. Then press Ctrl plus T. Let's move this tree, then hit enter. Press Ctrl, hold it, and click on the thumbnail of the text layer. There you go. Press M for the marquee tool. Create a selection of the letter O. Then click on the add layer mask. And then lastly, for this letter, press Ctrl plus J, duplicate the layer, select on the layer mask thumbnail, press backspace, press and hold Ctrl, select on the thumbnail layer of text, press M for the marquee tool, create a selection on these letters, then add a layer mask. That's looking good, isn't it? Next step here is we're going to hide the text layer. So I'm going to click this one for you to see what happens here. All right, actually this is the effect that we already created, but I just want to move the position and the scale of each layer thumbnail, right? So to do that, I'm going to remove these chains. So I'm going to click this one, also this, and this, and this. All right, and now we may now start adjusting it by selecting on that layer thumbnail, press Ctrl plus T, right, and move from where you are happy. I'm good with this. Now next step here, I'm gonna put this all layers to group. So to do that, select it on the C layer, press Shift, hold it, and click the last layer on top. Then, once they are all selected, press Ctrl plus G to put them in a folder. There you are. And the next step here is we're going to add a gradient. Going on to adjustment layer icon, click that, then choose on gradient map. And then from this gradient map, right click on it, and then choose on create clipping mask. Okay, so we're going to change the color here. So to do that, under the properties, just double click this. All right, so let's go to the color stops. Right from here, I'm going to click this one and then go to colors, then choose the color picker that we want. Now I'm going to choose here a darker color, something like the grayish color, something like that. Hit OK. Now I'm going to add another color stops from this area. So just click that, go to the color. I'm going to the darker green. Okay, so choose a dark green color. This one looks good to me. Hit OK. All right, let's add another color stops here. The color picker, let's choose a lighter green. Then hit it OK. And then lastly from this, click on this color, go to color picker, change this one to color white to give it a brighter look. Then hit OK. All right, also from this gradient editor, hit OK. Now one last thing, we're going to add this the landscape on that image. So press V for the move tool, click and drop it on our original document. There we are. Adjust the position, press Ctrl plus T. Sure, I'm gonna fit that here. All right, hit enter. Then from this layer of this city landscape, let's change the blending mode of that. So go here, just click this one, and then choose on lighten. There you are. We're good with it. And that is how to create a double exposure effect from text in Photoshop.